Hi, and welcome to I Need a Hobby, a podcast. I'm this week's host, Andrew, and to my left, if he had invested in Ethereum back when I told him to, he would not be living on the streets, Alex.
Hi.
And to my right, last episode, he had a Roth IRA. Now he has a Chris, I want a Bitcoin wallet. Chris.
One of the worst yet.
Yeah, first of all, it's insane that you're equating the first name Chris with the first name Roth. I mean, if I meet a guy named Roth, there's no way I'm giving him my money. You know.
The funniest thing was how, for the fans at home, before Andrew hit record, he literally said to himself, like, "All right, let's see if I can land this joke."
I said,
I'm about to drop a gem on these fools.
I said I need to execute this bad joke perfectly, or it doesn't work.
Yeah,
and
it
did
did not work.
I did not succeed. Anyway,
Chris, I want a Bitcoin wallet, that is, and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, what did I expect?
Podcast fame.
Andrew gets the Nobel Peace Prize.
This is not the resume building intro.
No.
Okay, so let's see if I can. I always seem to mess this part up too. So let's see if I can get it going here.
Yeah.
What's this podcast about? Well, usually me, Chris, and Alex, we take on a new challenge, hobby, or activity every single week, and we tell you guys about it. We are a few college grads that like to spend our time in the 9 to 5, grinding hard, working in the 9 to 5.
Yep.
But in the 5 to 9, we are always podcasting.
Yeah, that's
always
what
and
it is.
Trying out a new hobby, challenge, or activity.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys doing this week? Before we get into it,
Pretty good. I had something I
Okay.
kind of wanted to bring up with you guys.
I know. I'm not sure what Chris has to say.
So this is one of those days we recorded an episode before this. It's going to come out later.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Won't get into what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
And I go upstairs during the break, during the intermission.
Uh-huh.
Between the two episodes, we do have a live audience, guys.
Yeah.
Then they're silent.
Behind some soundproof glass, of course.
But I go to the bathroom, and this is a first in Chris history.
Uh-oh. He don't tell me you peed sitting down.
I thought about it. I'm peeing, doing my own thing. Open my phone, drop it into the toilet.
Are you kidding me?
Drop my phone into
This
the toilet.
just happened?
Luckily, you got that Samsung Galaxy S65, right? Just
Nope.
works fine.
Wait, this just happened?
This
Virtual
just
reality.
happened. So
Was this mid... Do you mind if I ask if
it was
midstream?
midstream. So I'm in a frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still going?
I stop.
Okay.
I come to a complete stop. Not easy. Fans of the show, if you haven't
Pump
tried to
the
do
brakes
this, very
so
difficult.
fast.
Whoa, screech! Whoa, where'd that come from?
I come to a stop. I grab it as quickly as I can.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. My first instinct, well, my big question, what do you do?
Here's-
First off, my phone's fine. I was able to catch it. soon
Here's
enough.
what's racing through my mind. Do you rinse it off?
That's literally, I turned on the sink with that in mind to do it.
My
if
first,
I'm
thought,
dropping
my
it-
first thought was Purell, to be honest.
What?
Not much like
Because
more,
that's not going to
yeah.
kill the phone, hopefully, right?
I mean,
I don't know what the
if
right
I
answer is.
if I drop anything else in the toilet,
It's
I'm
gone.
rinsing that sucker in a second.
Yeah.
But with my phone, you don't want to rinse. I'll never rinse my phone. You know.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do. I mean, it's totally dry at this point, but
Do you have like a Clorox wipe?
I gotta get one of those, I guess. But
Yeah,
would that
those are
mess
good.
with the phone? I don't
Did
know.
you-
No,
I
no,
can't believe it still
that'll be
works.
fine.
That's an
Yeah.
iPhone too, and it works.
It's an iPhone 2. S.
Nice. Stands for strong.
Yeah.
Water resistant.
Wait, what
iPhone 2 soaked.
What iPhone is it?
It is a 6, I think. Or,
Oh, yeah, so those are pretty water resistant. I don't know if they're water resistant. They
Yeah.
have like a different term for it.
But do you think it's gonna like?
But it's certainly covered in your own pee.
Yeah,
right
like,
now, which
you
is
think
a
it
bummer.
probably smells like? God.
I think it's fine.
I don't want people knowing I have I have an iPhone. They're gonna say I have a P phone.
Ooh, another bad one.
That one's good.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've certainly never washed my phone.
Never.
Mhm.
Me
I
either.
rarely
That's
even
true.
wash my hands.
Yeah.
You know.
I have washed my phone with a Clorox, or
You
no,
know,
with
Purell.
my. No, I have washed my phone with a Clorox wipe thing or whatever they're called.
Because like my phone, right now has never been dropped in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it's much cleaner than Chris's right now.
That's
yeah,
true.
You know?
yeah.
You do.
So, like-
you do get yourself in a lot of dirty
Yeah, I'm
situations.
a messy boy, but
Well, you just pee straight on the phone, so that's probably
yeah,
part
yeah.
of it.
It's never been dropped in the toilet, but it is covered in my own pee right now.
Other reasons.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you can't find a toilet, just you always have your phone on you at
I
least.
gotta go.
Alex downloaded a drug test app where you pee onto the street. He passed.
Have you guys heard about this app that's been banned from the Apple iPhone market or
Right.
app market,
Tell me about it.
where it's called like how high could you throw it or something like that. And it's an
I
app
did
where it
see
just
this.
tracks how high it uses like GPS or whatever, probably not GPS, but something to track how high you could throw your phone. So people try to get a high score, throw their phone as high as possible, and then their phone just smashes.
I like that.
And then it got banned.
There was another app that I heard about one time called I Am Rich. You guys heard about this?
Oh, it's like
It's
really
like
expensive.
when the guy when like apps first became a thing. Yeah, he made an app that wasn't anything. It literally just said I am rich and it had like a gem on it, and it was $1,000, $999.99, which is the most expensive you can make an app.
Is it still out there?
No. This was like in the days of like
I was
iPod
gonna say
touches
I
and
just
stuff.
got an iTunes gift card, so I might
But like
splurge.
I think I read somewhere that like 5 people bought it and then it went taken down because it was like
That's pretty good. It
became
cost
like
him almost nothing to make.
yeah
I'm sure, if
yeah
that-
and it
if
was like that was
simple.
his goal kind of to just make
if
something
one person
stupid.
does it, then it's worth
Yeah,
it.
like it's
Yeah.
like, you know, maybe like a Flappy Bird-esque vintage kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I would not be bragging to my friends that I bought an app for $1,000.
I think when you said Flappy Bird, I was thinking Angry Birds for some
No,
reason.
no.
Quite different games.
No, you're talking about the Angry Birds movie because we were talking about seeing that together. But
Don't talk. Don't bring that
Oh,
up.
sorry,
on
you're
pod.
right.
I don't want to tell.
you're right.
everyone.
You're right. Yeah.
All right, so Chris,
Another
what are
time.
you gonna do? What's your plan right
Probably
now?
just throw it in the trash.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to get a burner.
No,
Yeah,
I have
flamethrower.
I have some
probably.
like Clorox wipes at home. I guess I'll do that, but I don't know.
I'm
Feel-
surprised that it still
Still
works.
feel dirty. Yeah, I was lucky.
I feel like you should be happier.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. One time I like. One time I remember like I don't know how this happened, but I had like the cap of my toothpaste
Mhm.
and I like comically dropped it in the toilet, like one of those like.
No.
where
it's-
yeah, like literally, like you got like you've hit. I
That's
hit it
how I
up in the
felt.
air like 5 times, like
Yeah.
butterfingers, like and like oh.
I
I don't know what I did.
I one time was
Definitely
hanging
did
out,
not reuse it, but
hanging out at someone's house in the summertime. So we were all in the pool, and one of my friends was in the pool for probably like 5 minutes, like a long time. Or at least it's not like he jumps in and then instantly. All of a sudden he goes, "Oh, my phone's in my pocket." His phone was just soaking in the pool the whole time. First of all, how do you not realize that?
Yeah.
Even when I'm in the midair for a cannonball, I'm checking my pockets to make sure my phone's not in there. You know?
yeah. We're. This has definitely been said before, but the age of phones has ruined the classic pool pranks.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
just
true.
push your friends
No
in
doubt.
anymore.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of pool pranks.
I like the classic idea. You know, but the people still do it. Like, hey, could I see your phone for a sec? Because that's an innocent question.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's
that is
like,
pretty
hey,
good.
can I see your phone for a sec? They give you your phone. Push them in.
I just want to see the next Apple conference, whatever they're called,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim Cook's up there. The iPhone X1. Our most water-resistant phone ever. Pool pranks are back. The whole crowd goes crazy.
They all
great.
start peeing on the phone. to test.
No.
Never do that. Okay. Well, that's good, Chris. Or well, it's not good, but it's good. It's good that
It's
you.
good that you peed on
It's
your
good that
phone.
you've got it out there.
All right,
for
actually, I have a
everyone.
question. Do you regularly like check your phone while you're peeing? And Andrew, I'm
I
asking
don't
you
do
too.
that. No.
Not
Because I do. I'll say
No,
I do
maybe I do.
regularly. It's not every time, but I'll like everyone, especially while I'm at work.
I was gonna say at work. I think
at
I do,
work,
I'm
because
not
that's
checking
where
my
I'm
phone
away
while
from my
working.
desk. Yeah.
I do that as
It's
well.
like
Yeah.
peeing is sweet. That sweet relief where I could look at my phone again, and I'm usually like, one of these days you're falling in there with my own pee.
Yeah.
You know.
Didn't happen
And that
until
was
today.
today.
It
Well,
only took me 23 years.
Yep. That is too bad.
well, Chris, if you're looking to buy a new phone,
Let's hear this transition. What do you
maybe
got?
you can invest in some cryptocurrency, and then in 3 months you'll
Crypto,
have a
huh?
lot of money. That's right, cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
3 months.
It's in the
we're
zeitgeist,
good.
guys. It's in the zeitgeist.
Jeez.
So, we want to talk about cryptocurrency because I definitely am not shy about that. I've invested in cryptocurrency on earlier episodes. I will say to lead this
Yeah,
off,
we've talked about this
I'm
in episodes.
officially out of the NFL Survivor pool that I mentioned
yeah.
in
Oh,
the
that's
Andrew and
too bad.
Alex Need Advice. It is a bummer. I made it all the way to week 14. There was 2.23 Bitcoins was the prize money. There were 15 people left out of 1,050. So if I had made it all the way to the end, I'd be looking at like $2,000 actually.
So yeah, what
in Bitcoins. but
2.23 bitcoins just means $2,000.
2.23 Bitcoin. Well, it's
some
just the
explaining
exchange
there.
rate. So 2.23 Bitcoins right now at the time of recording. I'll actually check right now because I got this cool
All right,
app
could I
that's
already-
holding all my currency.
Could I ask a question,
One
or
sec,
do you
one
want to
sec.
introduce
A Bitcoin
first?
is $16,865.
One Bitcoin is
One Bitcoin.
So
So,
it's like
2.3 Bitcoins is like $36,000. Divide that by
Right.
15. That's like 2.2 right, or something like that. 2.2,
Something like that.
All right, so explain.
2.4,
I have questions, but I want you to. I want to hear what you have to say first.
$2,400.
Sorry, I don't have math-related questions.
Anyway, so
I know how math works.
I'm out of that, but that's okay because I still have a lot of money invested in cryptocurrency. So basically,
he just raised his eyebrows at us as if he was doing this massive brag.
Did I mention this in personal finance? That I think I said that I've probably too much. It's kind of like gambling. Like I like sports betting. We did an episode on that.
But that's what investing is.
That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You're just
gambling.
It's just a lot more volatile. So the way it is that I'll start with Bitcoin just because it's so popular right now. But I got into Bitcoin about a year ago, a little later actually, around March, when I might have talked about this on the podcast, but I bet a lot of money on Moonlight winning the Oscar because I was obsessed with that movie.
Yeah.
Thought it was so good. And Bitcoin went for about $1,000 a coin. And I won a decent amount of money, got a little bit of Bitcoins, and since then...
A little bit of a Bitcoin.
Of a Bitcoin, right? Yes. And since then, that has literally increased by times 17, and I won a little more from gambling. So I have some cryptocurrency, which is great.
Right.
And since then, I've used that Bitcoin since the value went up so high, I've invested in other smaller coins. So that's just my background on how I got into this.
Mm-hmm. You invested in other cryptocurrency?
In other cryptocurrency. And I did that in more recently, but so I first just had the Bitcoin for a while, and then in June is when I'll go. I just want to get to my history so that I can explain some stuff.
Folks at home, we've got some elderly listeners. You know?
Yeah,
they're not even listening to this thing on a smartphone. All right, they're listening to this cassette of our podcast. They're saying, "What?
Buy it on our website."
What in Christ's good name is a Bitcoin, Andrew?
I'll get back to it in a sec, and then I'll just say in June I put more money into Ethereum, which is like the other big one right now.
The runner-up.
Yeah, it's like the number 2 to Bitcoin's.
That's the Pepsi.
Right? it is. Yeah,
it's the Burger King.
It's the one that people would say like this one's really better, but you know like
it's not.
That's gonna come into that. That's one of my questions.
All right, I'll say it. Let's go back to the real thing. So, what is Bitcoin? Okay, do you guys know this at all? Like, do you have any ideas?
I know that it's cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say I have a moderate understanding of it.
Do you guys know what the blockchain is?
No. What?
Okay, so basically, like Bitcoin is this digital, right, electronic coin.
Mm-hmm.
That think of it like this: you can have your Bitcoins in imagine like a virtual lockbox that's on this thing called the blockchain. The blockchain is literally just like, imagine an Excel document of like every single transaction with this coin. So it's like sent from this address to this address. That's what the blockchain is. It's a working history of every single address.
That seems so.
And exchange that, or every single like transfer of Bitcoins. Okay.
So when I'm what I thought a blockchain was like, you're playing Mario and there's a block, you jump up and it goes bloop, and that's one.
Yeah.
You got mushroom,
that's
right?
a Bitcoin. The coin that is bloop, that's $2,000 I just got.
17,000 now, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that probably exists with like US dollars too. So like there is exchange.
Right. So the idea is that it's decentralized, right? The government is not involved. It's It's
I knew
open.
That's the big idea.
It's
for
open. That's what the blockchain. That's what the blockchain is. Is that this is just for Bitcoin, by the way? But that's what the blockchain is. Is that it's open so that all the users can see and verify every transaction if you want. No one's gonna do it, but
a bunch of nerds.
The whales are. That's what, you know that the whales is that a stock term
this is
too?
Insane.
The crypto whales. It's like the people who are like big investors. You know.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have heard whales actually.
Yeah, it's like
that's only a cryptocurrency though, right?
Is it? I don't know.
Because they're called sharks. Mark Cuban is a shark.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if that's true.
But I don't know. But anyway, so you can verify every transaction basically. Bitcoin, you get them.
See, I feel like that. I guess that makes you like trust the.
That's the idea.
Currency.
That's the idea is that you can see exactly what's happening. There are miners that verify every transaction. So I don't want to get into that because it's really technical. But the idea is that
that's one of my questions too.
Mining Bitcoins is basically like no one actually does it. It does these complicated like a miner, right? You have to buy this hardware
like
or
a
something.
coal miner kind of deal.
No,
wait, but not like a young kid miner. That's what you're saying.
No,
like a B minor, like a.
Wait, what do you mean a miner then?
A B minor. like a flat and a sharp.
Yeah.
No, it's like.
I thought it was like when people mine for a gem or something.
Wait, what did you actually think?
That's what I'm saying. So isn't that
like
the idea?
in
No,
theory,
that-
like that's
in
why
theory,
they
in theory, yes. But what?
I mean, that's where the work, because
Yes,
there's also
yes,
minors,
yes.
like young kids
Yeah.
are doing this. Like,
yes, sorry.
which I feel like is an honest question, because I bet in a bunch of countries there are young kids doing a bunch of weird
There
stuff.
are minors
I thought
mining.
for a sec you thought that people were like physically mining. or
like taking their computer and
Oh,
just like
no,
hacking
no.
it with an X.
something. That's that does not work.
No, I meant
Do
like
not try that.
But
But okay, basically the idea is that there's these things called miners that are
similar to coal miners.
Wait, what are you? Are you mean like a machine or something? Because that's what I mean.
No, it's,
Oh, you're talking about a person now.
Yeah.
I am not talking about a person.
I mean, like the verb mining is could
It
be
comes
related to
from
Okay, sorry.
coal
term.
mining and
I am
crypto.
talking
mining.
about a miner, a noun, and it is not a person. It is like a machine, basically.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
also people that
Sure.
are the miners, but you.
But they're, I don't know. They're in a,
so confusing.
they're 18
they're in a,
plus.
a dang mine shaft, for Christ's sake.
But you have this machine that's called a miner, okay?
Yeah.
And you use that. Well, you don't have to. I've never done this, but you can use it to quote mine for bitcoins. And really, all that machine is doing is solving these like incredibly complex math problems. You can look up YouTube videos on it, like how Bitcoin mining works, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And somehow doing that generates bitcoins. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
super.
that's one thing I
involved
don't
in
understand
that.
at all.
just like cha-ching,
what
cha-ching,
does that
cha-ching.
mean? Like, where does so this money is just like?
Is there like an exchange? Like
I
you
guess
get
there isn't money technically. But,
Bitcoin is capped, actually. There's only a certain amount. I think all the bitcoins will be in circulation by 2020 or something.
So
like
they're
that.
like
or maybe 2030.
hidden in the code of the internet. Like, what does that mean?
I'm
that they're
not. I'm
mining?
honestly not sure.
Is
I
it like
don't
is
know
it like
enough.
because they're doing the verifying whoever it is? Here's my
Yeah. So basically, these miners will verify these. I think
the
that's it, Chris.
transactions
They
and then they
verify
get
these
like
transactions
a
and
billionth of each one.
then
or
and then
something.
yeah, and then
It's like it's rounding off.
Yeah, so there's also these mining groups. I don't really want to get too far into this, but the idea is that if you want to make money, you kind of have to join a mining group because these mining groups are the ones that have the only processing power. Like if you get like $100 miner or something and try to mine, it will literally take you like 100 years to get one Bitcoin. Okay,
Right.
not worth it by then. So the idea is that if you
Well,
want to make money
I don't
from
know,
this,
at the rate it's going up.
that's true.
I think that's $17 billion.
Something like that.
you join
100 years,
you
that's
would
good.
you potentially could join a mining group, right?
Right.
And then you would get a cut of whatever your group mines.
Right.
But you probably also have to pay a dues or something. It's really just based on how much you value the cryptocurrency.
So you need like actual hardware.
Yes.
To this, like I couldn't do it with my Mac laptop. I couldn't.
no,
mine
you need
Unless you
hardware
were
and you need
super
like
good
a,
at math.
You need like a GPU. You know what that is?
like a TI-84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically like a real hard running RAM kind of deal.
Just
Okay.
a vroom.
like a real computer, not
You
like
gotta
a
pull it
MacBook.
like
it's
a
a pulsar.
lawnmower.
So that's how mining works basically. But the idea with Bitcoin,
I learned
Yeah.
nothing there.
there's nothing to learn. It's
Well, so
just-
I think
you solve there's a miner. It solves these really complicated problems, and those in turn,
No, it's
once it is verified, that's what makes like
All right.
the Bitcoin.
okay.
Okay.
Let's start a little bit more basic. Do you understand? Like, why did Bitcoin start? One
Okay. Yeah.
and
I'll go
two.
for
Like what? How would you define cryptocurrency?
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. Okay. Bitcoin started in 2009 by this guy. This is kind of cool. This guy's named Satoshi. Have you heard of him or no?
No, but see that already. This is like insane to me. That this guy like.
So there's this guy
sorry.
Satoshi, and no one knows his true identity. Maybe people who work with him do, but he's like literally anonymous to the public. No one like,
Okay.
and he had this idea. The idea is a peer-to-peer decentralized currency. So that's what I was getting at earlier. Is that you have the blockchain? It has all these transactions. Okay,
Yeah.
you have people that are mining using miners that are verifying these transactions and saying, okay, we got this Bitcoin. Now it's going here. That's all public. That's the idea. It's decentralized. The government does not see it at all.
Right.
Well, they could see it.
That's the thing.
They don't have a hand in it.
That exactly.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what makes people like it is that you can see it. You can know what's going on.
But
It's
don't-
not totally anonymous, but
They don't like govern
the
it.
government is not taking a fee. There's nothing
So-
from the banks.
so, like,
exactly.
Like, if all right, let's say theoretically I mined one Bitcoin.
Mhm.
That, like there's no like, that doesn't mean I have $2,000. Like, if the government really doesn't have a hand in it, is there like an actual exchange rate? I don't understand like how you can actually get money from this thing that this dude just made up. Because if I make up a currency right now,
Yeah.
No one would be able to get money from it, even
Yeah.
if they had 1,000 million Alex
Okay,
coins.
so the idea, the reason in my personal opinion, why Bitcoin is so expensive is because it's still like the original one. It's like the mainstream. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. Right. It's this idea from Satoshi. That's his original idea. Then kind of cool. So there's this guy named Gavin Andreessen, and he's like one of the core developers for Bitcoin, like in 2009, 2010. And he actually lives in Amherst, where I'm from. And yeah, he's actually gotten lunch with two of my roommates. Yeah, because
break in and steal his freaking Bitcoin.
Yes. They took an independent study with a teacher there who's like very involved in Bitcoin, and he like knows this guy. And it's like really funny because they said that the guy Gavin is like recently has been really like they've only met him like twice or something, but it's still kind of cool because he got his privileges like revoked a while back. He had a falling out, I think, with Satoshi. Yeah.
Satoshi?
So no one really knows, but they said that like
he's not Bitcoin rich.
No, he is. That's the thing. But that's what they were saying that like the other day he was like at lunch and he was like, yeah, I got this one, guys. Like he doesn't want to be like, but like literally he probably has like thousands of Bitcoins. Like,
but that really doesn't.
He started like
could he theoretically right now take
cash out?
Like, can he cash out? Where's that money come from?
So that's a good question. So
that's what's blowing.
This is just for Bitcoin still. So we'll move on to other stuff in a bit. But are you guys familiar with like the idea of Bitcoin? Right? Like, do you understand? I want to go over a couple. The idea of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to go over a couple things first.
So the big thing with cryptocurrency is basically the government has no say in this, and
and so you can transfer money internationally as well with no fees. Additional fees.
Well,
what I remember
that's the thing. With Bitcoin, actually, there's a ton of fees recently because it's so expensive. The cheap fee is now like $20, so people are getting upset about that. Yeah,
and
Satoshi.
That is Satoshi's doing. I've heard.
Seriously.
It's like untrackable or something like that. Like I remember when Bitcoin started.
That's not true.
It was all like, oh, this is going to be what drug dealing is going to be.
Yeah. So there are there are some cryptocurrencies that are legitimately untrackable, and that's the ones the government is really scared of. But at the same time, some people like really think there's this one called Monero, if you want to look it up, but that's the one that is like the most transparent. Like no one can, I don't know how it works, to be honest. I'm more familiar with like Bitcoin just because it's so popular, but allegedly you cannot trace any kind of transactions with Monero.
Okay.
But the way that Bitcoin works, right, is that imagine that I have this lock, okay? I'll go to exchanges first because that's how most people get their Bitcoins with an exchange, not from mining. Mining is just like how
that's like how it started, though, right?
Yes. But now there's the exchange. The most popular one is called Coinbase. So I trust Coinbase. Another thing with cryptocurrency is that all the exchanges are super intense, like two-factor authentication. Like you can literally set up like email every time someone signs in and like freeze the account if you don't respond to an email in like a minute or something like that.
Because people are putting like
because there's so much money involved. Exactly. So
it reminds me of remember when we did sports betting and you said how like when you have to cash out, it's like it goes through Canada and like people knock it.
Okay, that's
what I feel like Bitcoin should be.
That's funny because
just as sketchy.
Even more.
That's the first time I cashed out, and then since that first time, it said we now accept Bitcoin withdrawals, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea because now I don't have to deal with this sketchy man from it's just a flower shop from Canada. I don't want this traced to me. I cash out in Bitcoin and then I send it to an exchange. So
you don't feel like you're dealing with the mob. Like I feel like the mob should be doing Bitcoin.
Maybe, yeah, probably. But okay.
But at the same time, it is mainstream. So.
Yes. So there's the website Coinbase. It's an exchange. Right. There are three main coins on there. Bitcoin, the only three coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Litecoin is like Bitcoin, but it's like, I don't understand this too well yet, but it's like, there are many things. So I went over the blockchain, right? Mm-hmm. There are many other alternative coins that use that blockchain or the Bitcoin code and make a very slight change, but they still use generally the same principles and literally it's another coin. So Litecoin is like one version of that. They changed something about Bitcoin to that they thought this is a better idea. And right now it's severely, it's way less valued than Bitcoin, obviously. But the idea is that as these cryptocurrencies, if they do get more popular and start to be used widely, then Litecoin is like another version of Bitcoin that is better.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, that's incredibly oversimplified because I don't know. I haven't read all the white papers. They're called. Is all like here's our goals and here's what we're gonna do.
So it's like Bitcoin has to get popular enough or whatever, used enough that
Yes.
other cryptocurrencies are like accepted.
Yes.
And then people will be like, oh wait, Litecoin is better.
Literally, yes. That's exactly
Bitcoin
it.
has to get to the point where people start caring about.
So I'll get to this later, but with the other coins,
it's like the RC Cola. It's like we all know it's better than Coke, but listen, if you never drank Coke and Pepsi, you never would have even known about RC Cola.
So
right?
the idea is that with altcoins, that's what the other ones are called, I guess. So those are the other three, and usually
my other problem is like, can we get some better names?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It sounds very sketchy.
But what I'm saying is that usually the other coins you can't buy them with USD. You have to buy them with Bitcoin or Ethereum or sometimes Litecoin. But that's the idea. That's why that's what we have, is that it's kind of all tied to Bitcoin success, because you can't buy these coins. Like everything is valued.
The exchange rates.
Like
all based
I
on
have
Bitcoin.
I have some coins, right, and they're worth like $5 a coin, but they're really just worth this many X amount of Bitcoins, which is worth $5 or something. So that's how you get those coins. That's how you make money from those. Well, I haven't actually got into that yet, but that's like the idea is what I'm getting at. Like you trade, you buy Bitcoins or Ethereum, and then you get the other coins. So Coinbase, I have my bank account information set up through there. I trust it. That's the most like user friendly one. That's the one that US people use. Totally legal.
That was one of my questions coming in. Is Bitcoin legal?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know the answer.
So far,
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's legal. But government is like freaking out about it more so because it's just like becoming a little too popular and like they're getting kind of nervous, I think. So it might try to get banned, but I don't know.
I did see Trump tweet the other day, Ethereum is fake currency.
Did he actually?
No, I'm just kidding. But you believed it.
Yeah, that's funny because like I could see other people saying that besides Trump.
But actually, like it is fake.
Yeah, of course. So okay, so the other thing I want to go over is Bitcoin wallet and Bitcoin addresses. So first, I have the exchange. So imagine I have on that exchange, I've linked it to my bank account. I can purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Is that all good for you guys?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is a website that you have like a wallet there, right?
Coinbase. Has a wallet.
The wallet consists of basically this long address. It might even just be like a big long number, but it's read as alphanumeric. Does that make sense?
1 billion.
So like it could be like a 50-digit number, but those are all translated to like alphanumeric. So it's like probably like 20 or 25 long like alphanumeric with lowercase and uppercase. That's that's your address for your wallet. So
do you have to type that in when you go in, or
no? But if I was to receive Bitcoins to that wallet, I would say send to this address.
Okay.
And it would know. I don't know how that works. That's something with the blockchain. That's the stuff that I'm saying is that it's verified from the blockchain, from these miners. That's another thing. Real quick, I just wanted to get into one other thing. So the reason that Bitcoin works is that when you send Bitcoin to an address, it takes about 30 or so minutes because that address has to be verified. The transaction has to be verified on the blockchain, like what I was talking about before.
So it works its way through all the
there's literally confirmations of these miners. They do these problems. They finish the problems. They say, all right, good. This Bitcoin's available. The transaction's verified.
I still thought miners were people.
Sorry.
Whoa.
You think there's like small children in a factory
somewhere? They kind of are. I would say.
Right, but it's like being verified by a supercomputer, essentially.
Yes, yes.
It's not someone else saying.
Yeah, it's not like a person like.
Yep, boss, we're good.
Yeah. So they check that once all those verifications go through, which could be as quick as like 5 minutes or as long as an hour. Only then is your Bitcoin sent. So when you send Bitcoin, it actually takes like maybe like 30 minutes or something on average. I don't know. Okay. But some other cryptocurrencies, it's like instant. And that's like the draw is like instant transactions or like, like very quick transactions. That's the thing with Bitcoin. It was the first one. It was the pioneer. But there's a lot of improvements to be made. And there's a ton of other alternatives to it. Okay. So say now that Alex has Bitcoin address. Okay. You can make up your address. Come on. Just say anything.
Alex.
Bitcoin addresses can be public. Actually,
could it be like an email address?
No, just say a word or something.
Okay, hobby.
All right, Chris, what's yours?
Good luck.
Can it be hobby? No,
it can't be hobby. Alex is hobby.
Wait, no, he said hobbit.
Yeah, mine's hobbit.
All right, that's too confusing.
Too unverifiable.
Just pick something else.
Chris.
Okay, sure. So, assuming that this will work, and these are unique addresses, that's another thing. There's luckily like so many digits and uppercase, lowercase. There's a million combinations. Well, way more than a million. So you can have a ton of addresses. and they're not reused too. So Alex has his Bitcoin. We'll say you have a whole Bitcoin. You're feeling generous today. You're gonna give it all. No, we'll give it half to Chris.
Yeah, I was gonna
okay,
say,
you're gonna give it half to Chris. So what you would do is, if you have it on Coinbase, you would do send. You'd type Chris because that's his wallet address.
Mm-hmm.
You'd click send. They'd say, hey, we got a little transaction fee. You'd say that's fine.
Ugh.
Send. Chris can literally look on this website called blockchain.info, which it's the blockchain. It has all these transactions, and he can literally do Control F on his address and look for his transaction, and he can see when it's verified, or he can just wait and check his wallet in like 30 minutes.
Right.
And then that Bitcoin will be in Chris's wallet.
Nice.
So that's the idea. Chris will. You don't have to do anything to receive money. All you do is you have your address.
But like,
that's it.
Is that a perk to cryptocurrency?
I think so.
I could
You could Venmo.
I could give someone $20. I could give Chris and it's paper currency.
Yeah, but you could do it you could do it internationally. You could send it to anyone.
Okay.
It's not instant, but it's very quick.
Okay.
And I guess the big thing is that this is where it breaks for me kind of, is that you have to have Coinbase to get the USD basically. But other than that, all this cryptocurrency is not tied to me at all.
Can you cash?
It's just an address.
Can you cash Bitcoin straight from
cool.
Coinbase into your bank account?
Yes.
And how does it come up in your bank account? Does it just say
I forget, but it's
It's
legal.
just
so
a
it's fine.
flower shop from
it just
Canada.
says totally legal.
No, the thing is though, it is taxable. So if you have a lot of money, then you can.
So do you have to claim that on your taxes?
Yes, you do.
I just don't
as
understand
property gains or something.
You could take Bitcoin and say, all right, I want to put this in my bank account, and you get, for example, 1 Bitcoin, you get $17,000 or whatever.
Yep.
Where's that money coming from, though?
That's the exchange rate for Bitcoin. What do you mean?
I just feel like
Coinbase.
It's
probably
where does
has so much money.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's kind of I guess where does the USD value compared to the pound?
It's the same thing. It's just
and
it fluctuates, but this one fluctuates a lot more because it's newer and
Coinbase probably
a lot
has
more volatile and
so many
Bitcoin.
Yeah, all right, I get that.
Potentially millions of Bitcoins.
I guess
in
it's
Coinbase,
just me saying I get that,
and USD that they just exchange it. It's just a market.
But I guess to me that's not I guess I'm not understanding how it's a currency then. I don't know. It just.
Well, it's the same. Take a look at the dollar in your wallet. It's kind of the same idea. It's just that's a physical representation. You look in your bank account, that's not real USD in there.
Right.
It's just
that's true.
It's just a representation of.
And now my
what
other
you have.
question is: so when you decide, I want to put this money in Bitcoin, are you doing it because you're look at there's quick transactions, there's this, it's unverified or it's borderline untrackable, or are you I can make a ton of money because it's going up?
Okay, so I don't do it with Bitcoin.
Because there are people out there that are
I can make a ton of money.
No, I'm saying there are people out there that are this is untrackable, the government shouldn't be involved, so I'm going to do this. But there are other people who are this is a great investment, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, so I guess I'm more on the investment side, but I am curious about the advancements that cryptocurrency can make. However, I'm not smart enough to really delve into it right now. However, I am taking a class on it next semester, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, it's called Secure Distributed Systems, which is what this is.
Waited for this episode
so I can say real more stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea with Bitcoin. So you have the other thing I wanted to go over is wallets. So the other problem that people don't like is that you have your Coinbase wallet, right? Mm-hmm. You just sent money to Chris on Chris
through his
Coinbase wallet
address
from Hobby to Chris, right?
Yeah.
But what if Chris doesn't want his money on Coinbase in case someone goes and hacks it, right? Mm-hmm. If someone hacks your account and all of a sudden all right, cool, that's my Bitcoin now. So that's why there's these things called paper wallets, or there's software you can download that's on your computer. Here's your new address, Chris. Send it to here.
From Chris to
whatever, Hobby 2.
Yeah.
Or Hobbit.
Hobbit.
Okay. And that is now off the web. It is on Chris's computer, and no one can get that. It's encrypted with a password. Okay. Now this money is safe. However, you have to deal with transaction fees going back and forth, right, from the exchange to wherever you want to pay or something.
But it's safer on your own computer.
But it's safer.
It can only be accessed through your computer.
It can only be accessed through your computer, and it's actually kind of cool. They have these recovery passwords or recovery phrases that are 15 words long. You got to get them exactly right. That's how you recover your wallet on another computer, for instance. Does that make sense, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Now here's the really interesting part is that there are also these things called paper wallets, and all that is it's literally just a box, like imagine like a virtual box with a Bitcoin in it and a lock and key. So it's a public key that tells you the public key is saying, here's where your box is. And the private key is what opens the box. So that's it. It's literally on a piece of paper. You have a public key, which is where your Bitcoin is stored. Everyone can see that.
Wait, where's this paper? This is...
You just write it down.
Okay.
It's
Where
called a
it's
paper
stored-
wallet.
where it's
but
stored
where it's
online.
stored is on. It's just literally in the blockchain. Like it's just somewhere out there. Okay. And you have that address that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That
You
I
just
think
write
it's
that
the
down
address.
somewhere.
That would be like your public key. But in order to access the Bitcoin, you need a private key. So that would be like this incredibly long,
So you would need to
like
know
50
like,
character thing that's super precise.
So you'd
And
have
that's
to know,
the only way to open your wallet, basically.
wallet.
Yeah.
So that sounds all right.
That's like the most secure because there's no third-party software. That's literally like
That's more secure than the one that's off the web. That's just on your computer.
I think that those are both secure, but like the paper wallet is literally like you watch your transaction get verified on blockchain. You click like a button, it gives you this info,
right.
and like there's even something like you're supposed to like disconnect from the internet and then you can still generate the info.
See, I
So
feel
like no one knows
stuff like
at
that
all.
is just put in to like make it feel
Yeah,
more
that's
sketchy.
Yeah.
probably true.
Like you have to be doing this in a parking garage.
But the paper wallet I think is like the most interesting because that's like the reason I say paper wallet is just because you write down your information on a piece of paper so
Okay.
that
Right.
but that's it. Like you lose that paper, like you'll never remember the private key. That's
Right.
it. Personally, I have like
See, that does not seem secure at all. Then
no, it's incredibly secure.
I just mean like the losing the piece of paper,
Yeah.
and then all your money is gone.
Well,
forever.
It's secure, but it's
Hopefully
it's
I don't
flawed.
know. You
I
gotta
guess there
have
are
like
flaws.
a
Yeah, you gotta
lockbox
be
or
smart
something.
about
Like
it.
You gotta have a
If-
real life
if-
lockbox.
yeah, if-
where I put my real life money and
it's a smart idea, right?
Piece of paper.
If you have a lockbox, you put in like $1,000. The thieves are like, sweet, and like, oh, what's this piece of paper? Toss it.
Yeah.
You know, you've come back, you got robbed. Oh, guess what? I still have $1 million in
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
you show
dummy.
them.
So they won't know. Okay, so that's basically Bitcoin. That's all I want to get to with Bitcoin. Is
Here's
that good?
a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One, I've been seeing, and I think I brought this up on another podcast maybe, but there's a convenience store in my town that accepts Bitcoin as
Yeah.
payment.
Yeah.
How do you pay?
Oh, I have a good story with that.
And are there like cards at this point that you can pay with Bitcoin?
Good
or-
question, Chris.
all
Okay,
like-
so the answer is no. There are no cards. The paying is literally just what I would say. They would say, "Here's my address." You'd say, "Okay, cool. I have Bitcoin in this wallet here." There's some iOS wallets. You could you just go to your phone, where
They'll scan
your
it somewhere.
wallet's in, whatever the wallet's in. No, it's not scanned. It's whatever the wallet's in, and there probably is the QR code.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. That's what
So
I'm
you would
thinking
scan a QR code that makes sure
Transfers your
that
address.
their address is correct, and
Yeah.
then you send the amount, and it's good.
of.
So do you think that store's laundering money? Like,
Yeah, potentially. I
Right?
don't know. Yeah,
maybe, or
like,
maybe
why would they want like? I mean, obviously they could get money through that, but
maybe
like,
this
yeah.
guy thinks it's a good investment, so he's like, all right, why not?
no,
but that's
it's
not
true. There's-
going through the government, right? I guess
No.
it's taxable though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is taxable. There's one funny
It's
story.
very
A
strange.
famous funny story is that in 2010, some guy bought he bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 bitcoins. So. Yeah,
What?
like it was like when it was not popular, whatever. A store just said, "All right,
That's so
fine,
much
we'll accept
USD
it."
though.
Well, at the time, it was pennies
Oh, not
on
that much.
pennies on
Yeah.
end. It was the cost of 2 pizzas. Yeah,
Dang, that poor guy.
And
that
yeah.
poor sap.
I feel bad for him, but imagine that pizza shop. That's
Yeah.
$170 million or
Yeah.
something.
Jesus Christ.
Straight up. Yeah.
I read a story the other day about this guy who was an early miner,
Mhm.
and he got married. You got to
Mhm.
throw away your mining materials. This is
Sure.
back in the day,
Uh-huh.
and the amount that was on the computer was worth, I think it was like $100 million today. So he was considering hiring a company to go through a landfill to try to find his like hard drive,
Wow.
because he's like, yeah, it'll cost
It'd be worth it if you get
even if it costs $1 million to find it. Like,
Oh my god.
Damn,
but-
that's so
yeah,
sad.
he said he wasn't sure if he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Very
So
sad.
that's basically it with Bitcoin. Is that the idea? Peer-to-peer currency, decentralized. You can send it anywhere. There's practical reasons for like simplicity, I guess, of just like, here's your address, send, not tied to your bank account. That's
Right.
like the biggest thing to gain from it.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's so expensive right now, I could not tell you, because I think it is just
It's hot.
ridiculous. It's just nuts.
Why Bitcoin is so expensive?
Yes, but
But that's good for people like you.
oh, definitely, yeah. It's just it's nerve wracking because like cryptocurrency is like almost certainly a bubble. It's just like I do think that there are some technologies that could prevail, that we could gain from this.
Well, here's my other question. Like you say, it's a bubble. Like when you think, like we talked in the personal finance episode, how like you put your money in. Or maybe we didn't talk about this, but like it's a concept when you invest in something. That like the market's going to fluctuate. So when it does crash down,
Jeez,
especially if you're in a long-term investment, then you just sit back. Like you don't pull your money out when it's crashing because you know it's going to go back up.
However,
like
this one
is that how Bitcoin is supposed to work?
I
is that how cryptocurrency works?
Not even scratched the surface on that.
Because I'm also not like, it's not really an investment in like a stock. It's an investment in an actual currency.
That's the idea. So the other thing with cryptocurrency is that nothing really besides Bitcoin. There's a couple other ones. But like actually one kind of funny thing, I was talking about this one Monero earlier that is like super anonymous, like no one knows anything, and like actually like Sia and like G-Eazy are like accepting Monero on like their albums or something random like that. Like you can look it up. Like like there's like buy my albums, like a bunch of random musicians. I think even Mariah Carey, I don't know. But you can like, oh, buy with Monero, it's 15% off.
Mariah Carey.
Because
Monero
like
Carey.
these whatever people are fear of missing out. They just want some cryptocurrency. They're like, oh,
they don't really need money. They're like,
maybe this will be a good investment.
People pirate their albums.
But
anyways.
the big thing is that this is not nothing except for Bitcoin and then Monero and that, and then there's some that are like getting there eventually, but nothing is used for anything. It's all hype. That's why it's a bubble. Is because
that's why I'm like,
Bitcoin is used for like Chris said, you can buy it. You can use
I get that.
It's becoming more mainstream. Perhaps it'll even grow bigger. But really, none of the other cryptocurrencies are not. They're just not used for anything really. Right now. I
guess like
they will be.
The idea is like in a perfect world for what was his name? The guy who invented it.
Sia.
Satoshi. Like the whole world would be using cryptocurrency because it's whatever. It's all the pros of it. But at the same time, like the whole world would be just using one cryptocurrency, right? Why would it make sense to have a bunch of different?
That's funny. Is that I've invested in another coin called ARK, and the idea behind ARK is that, and this one's like pretty random altcoin. Like you won't see this. You know, this is insider podcast info. But the idea with ARK is that it's supposed to be a coin that you're just able to what's the word? Exchange cryptocurrencies like instantly. Just like all right, like you. Like, okay, just we'll take ARK or something.
So it's like have your money in ARK, and then when Bitcoin is up or down or whatever, you put your money in Bitcoin.
No.
And then you get more there.
No, this is for like actually using the cryptocurrency.
Oh, okay.
It would be like
pay directly with ARK.
Instead of like this is like in a future world where many different cryptocurrencies
we only accept Monero,
like,
but I have Bitcoin. Like
with our ARK. Yeah, that's the idea with ARK, and so that's like.
But
those are some ideas of like these expansions on like either. Usually it's like the Bitcoin, or I haven't even got to Ethereum, but there's like these two blockchains that a lot of cryptocurrencies are based off of. So Ethereum, I actually don't know enough about it to like go into it fully, but that it's different than Bitcoin, where Bitcoin, like the goal was a decentralized peer-to-peer currency system. Ethereum is not like, Ethereum isn't intended to be like I want everyone to use this as the one currency. It's just supposed to like, it's just like an alternative, but it isn't supposed to be used as like a purchasing currency. I just don't know enough about it. I should have looked up more.
See, like that's what I don't get. Like
they have these things called smart contracts that are supposed to be like helpful for people. Like
how many currencies, how many cryptocurrencies are there going to be?
That's like, the idea.
Eventually, some of them are going to get like now we have US dollars and we have like the yen. So and we have a few.
So it's basically the question you have to ask yourself before you invest is, what do you think of the future of cryptocurrency? Do you think that do you think that it will be used in the next year or 2 or 3 years, whatever? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because
and then also, like, do you think it'll become just Bitcoin, or do you think it'll
be other ones?
It'll become
big
enough.
If you don't think that people will be using it frequently, then
it doesn't make sense.
I don't think it makes sense to invest. But at the same time, I guess I won't get into like exact figures, but I'll say that. So I bought some Ethereum in June, like I told you about that.
Yeah, I was so close to buying some at the time. Yeah, I remember.
But
I didn't know how to spell it.
That's funny.
That's a good story.
2017. It's actually phonetic, but
I don't think it was at the time.
It's changed.
2017 has been like a bull market for cryptocurrency. Like literally, like I said, I got Bitcoin in March, and it was $1,000 per coin, and now it's $70,000. Like that's insane. That's not not sustainable. That's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
That's the problem with cryptocurrency is that there's highs, there's lows. So you can hold with the hope that it'll work out because that's what the real stock market is like. But at this stage in cryptocurrency,
It's not the real stuff.
you could lose it all like
Tomorrow.
any
Yeah.
day. Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Like so. Those are the big negatives with cryptocurrency. Is A, right now it doesn't actually do anything, and B, like because of that, you could like everything could just be valued to nothing immediately. But the potential is there, so much so that it's very intriguing to like a lot of potential buyers, including myself.
What do you think the future of cryptocurrency is? Like,
I don't know. To be honest, my big thought is that I diversified my portfolio. Chris was always telling me that. Because I don't think that everything's going to be
but you diversified
super high up
in cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So you
Yeah,
think
I remember the first talk we had about personal finance before we even did the episode. I explained to Andrew diversify. You know, you gotta have your funds in a bunch of different places, and he was like, "Yeah, I have like 8 different altcoins." I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but that just shows that you do think
you do believe in it.
I'm saying that
real.
I'm banking on like one coin that will be very good in the future, and I just think that we're at a point where like.
So which coin do you think it is?
Well, obviously I don't know.
No,
not Bitcoin. That's the thing. Bitcoin is the alpha release of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like super slow transactions, big fees on a lot. Like here's a good thing. I saw this on Reddit with Bitcoin. Okay. The fee right now is like $17 or something like that. So say you have $100 worth of Bitcoin. Okay. And you buy something worth, I think it was $66. Okay. Well, sorry, your fee is $17. So now you've had 66 and 17. Now you only have $17 remaining. Oh, guess what? That's whatever the next fee is going to be is also 17.
Yeah.
So you have $100, but that's not that. That's $66. So that's a big problem with Bitcoin right now, and that's what I was saying about Litecoin. Other altcoins, they try to make this fee a lot smaller. There's constant improvements, and that's because the whole thing is open source basically. Like you can so like get this code and try to improve it and make your own coin.
So here's what I'm thinking.
That's why it's dangerous, but it's also could be good.
So is the idea then to get some Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Put money into Bitcoin.
Yep.
And then take that Bitcoin and put it into other cryptocurrencies? Because
that's
like
personally what I do, yes.
Like Bitcoin is the popular one, but it's not, obviously not like if there is going to be one coin that rules them all.
I would bet a lot of money it's
Bitcoin.
not Bitcoin. Yes.
And also, I guess so it
they'll
seems
either
like
all crash or it won't be Bitcoin.
you primarily use this as like an investing. Like you're not like.
But he does.
I guess you do.
He believes in the future.
You believe
of
in
Bitcoin.
it.
No, but
I guess I'm wondering at this point, do you think a lot of people are using it for transactions? Like, because I've noticed
the thing is like
over the last couple of weeks though, just seeing like we've always talked about doing this, but like it's popping up all over Wall Street. Everyone's talking about the Bitcoins.
Yeah, okay,
right now.
it was on
So
Snapchat.
I think when it's
Snapchat
getting
story
big,
today.
I feel like I saw that today.
That's the dangerous part.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Bitcoin, I've predicted this. I said June 2018. That might be too far. I think in June 2018, Bitcoin will be a shell of its former self. I think that's what I'm trying to tell you guys now. I think 2018 is the year of the altcoin. I think that cryptocurrency has become mainstream enough where people are interested, at least for another year or two, where these new coins, because that's the thing is that the reason that these altcoins are so cheap, which is a blessing and a curse, is that they're not done. They have, this is our goal. Here's our white paper.
Like they need investors.
Here's what we're going to do. You have to believe in us. You have to
They need the
fund
whales
us.
or the sharks to invest.
You trust us and we'll get this done. Obviously, some of them are scams, right? That's when people are trying to make money fast. But if you look hard enough, maybe you can find the right coins. And that's the idea, is that currently all these altcoins are more or less worthless compared to Bitcoin because they're not complete. They're not used for anything. Monero, that coin I was talking about, that's worth almost $300 right now because it's starting to get real use. It has this this market of people who want complete anonymous transactions. This kind of stuff is I don't know. There's potential for it. Is what I'm saying. Is that there are people out there like you or me, but obviously like a lot people that are a lot richer that really see potential in some altcoins or whatever, and that's where money is to be made, in my opinion.
I think it's insane that like. So you think about these people who don't trust the government, right?
Yeah.
And there's two insanely different sides to this. There are the people, like you say, I want the government not touching my money at all. So I want this new currency that is completely, the government doesn't touch it. You can't even track some of them. And then there are these people who are like, I am going to go completely off the grid. I am not going to even have money. I'm going to sell trade. I'm going to sell like my skills for work. I'm not going to have a cell phone. Like, that is so different. One of them is like the peak of technology right now. And one of them is like I don't know,
that's
a
really
nomad or whatever.
Really
and
funny,
they could bond over the one, like, I don't want the government in my life.
I don't have a phone or a computer, but I do have an address for
I got a paper
Bitcoin.
wallet.
And can I log in?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But that's kind of like
that's
what's
comparison.
in my head right now is like, you guys know I'm a skeptic and I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
So like, so maybe it's a good idea to have the government not wanting or not being involved in our money. But at the same time, I am a conspiracy theorist slightly. Give it a nay for sure, but I give it a high rating.
Yeah.
So like deep in the back of my mind, I think like maybe the government will do whatever is necessary to put an end to cryptocurrency. You know, do you ever think that? You said they hate Monero.
Yeah, no, I think there's a chance of that.
Yeah.
But right
Like-
now that it's,
Hasn't happened
prospects are looking good. So I wanted to get into, I'm not going to tell you guys, well, it's definitely another like classic thing is don't say how much you're investing, like the exact amounts, but to try and convince you guys. So for the yay or nay section, we are going to do a true yay or nay where I'm going to ask these guys if they want to buy some. I can help them. I can get them set up with their wallets,
Right.
and they could get some cryptocurrency. But I will say that, and I don't count my Bitcoin because I've considered that I won gambling, so I don't count that as like I invested in Bitcoin. Like I bought the Ethereum, I buy the other ones, even if it's with the Bitcoin. So I'm not even counting the Bitcoin, and I have made a little over double my investment in 4 months. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, that graph or whatever of how much it's grown.
Yeah,
Is
it's like scary.
It's crazy.
It is
Yeah.
intense.
So I'm currently it's like almost TMI, but I'm in like about like 10 coins, I guess, and I have like wallets for all of them where like that I was saying it's all like offline,
Right.
mostly. And yeah, I mean that's it. So I basically get these coins. Like there's one that's like the idea is it's for like YouTubers and like Twitch people. It's like a quick way to like tip them. So like kind of sketchy, but like I don't know, maybe Twitch is like a real thing now. Maybe people are gonna be just like a quick tip for something like, and that one's only worth 25 cents. So like why not is kind of where I'm at. And obviously like I do treat investing in cryptocurrency like gambling, where like you were saying, Chris, if you're investing in a stock or something, perhaps it's a little more safer. So I'm not investing money that I'm like, I'd be okay with losing all of this. And that's kind of helpful in a way because since my Bitcoin has gone up so much from when I originally got it, even if I lose it all, I've still only lost like not that much money because of what I originally put into Bitcoin, if that makes sense. So that's like a good thing that I kind of got lucky with. I literally only got into Bitcoin because I was like, I don't want anyone tracking me like that FedEx guy who was delivering a package that had a piece of paper in it that said it needed to be signed. So sorry, so that's where I'm at.
Thanks. So you had a very genuine like start to Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Like,
I was not like a tinfoil hat. Like I literally was just like, oh, I could use this. I could transfer it with Coinbase.
Yeah, and you weren't even really like an
no one would know
investor
that
at
I'm
this
betting.
point. You actually were using it.
I was using it for like betting.
Purpose,
And yeah. So
That's real.
I remember before that you were like, you told me like, hey, check out this new cryptocurrency, and you just like sent me a link to Venmo.
Well,
Yeah, that's the
it's
next
pretty
one.
good, right? You should. You
It's
bet you wish
working.
you invested.
I feel like Venmo secretly has all their money in Bitcoin.
Maybe.
That'd be
Who knows?
interesting.
It could be going up.
All
But
right,
now,
so
now what I'm saying is what I'm nervous about is that we're at the point where Bitcoin's getting on like freaking Facebook
It's in the
articles.
zeitgeist, yeah.
It's so popular. That's why we're doing this episode. But at the same time,
You know what? But we had the idea to do this episode before it like reached the popularity that it
yes,
is now,
absolutely.
for sure.
But what
I
I'm
want people to
very
think we're
nervous
just
about
basic.
is that we're not we've been at this for a while. Is that like my friend also bet on Moonlight and won he won even more money because he was reckless with his betting. Bet way too much money, but it won. And he sold his Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $7,400. That was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
It is.
insane.
It is doubled that.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable. That is not good.
Right.
That makes me incredibly nervous.
Because it's
honestly.
like, because he could be hitting himself like, I could have made double this
yeah,
money.
but
then
at the
it's
same
like,
time, it's like, well, I bet on a movie that I liked and I won a
But
lot of money.
He
so.
sold it and took it out as money as US dollar.
Yeah.
Cold hard cash.
So he didn't consider like taking it out of Bitcoin and maybe putting some in other cryptocurrency.
See, he's like that kind of guy you're saying, that man in the woods, the lumberjack guy. Like he doesn't want to. He
what
doesn't
are all
want to deal
these
with it.
addresses?
So yeah, me and another friend tried to be like, hey, like Bitcoin's bad, but hey, there's other stuff out there. But he's like, no, I'm good. And like it's tough to say that when you literally like make this money from something. Like I feel incredibly lucky. Like Chris was saying, I got 17 times my profit just because I decided to be anonymous instead of like I had no idea Bitcoin would go up that much, you know. And now here I am with all this money, and like I say all this money, it's definitely a small amount, but at the same time, it's like, oh crap, like
it's got potential,
and it could double overnight.
It could double overnight. It could have overnight.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're never supposed to say how much you have because like imagine if I said like. Yeah, I invested, imagine, just hypothetically, imagine if in 2025 I've come out and said that, imagine this podcast was in 2010 and I've said that I bought 1,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And you guys are like,
you're looking down
cool,
at your
dude,
phone.
that's like $50. Good for you. And then now like someone listens to this and they're like,
yeah,
I got to find that guy, you know?
And
So
take his
it's
Bitcoin.
scary.
And take his paper wallet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right,
That's right. It's like the things you don't talk about are your salary. You don't ask people their weight, and then you don't ask people how many bitcoins they have.
But all right, but so you would say right now that it would be stupid to put a bunch of money in Bitcoin because it's probably going to come down soon. Right?
I do not think it's a good idea to put. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what do I know, but from my like a little bit of research, and I do try to keep up on this because like with you guys in personal finance, like I have enough invested here where I want to be smart about my decisions. Well, I personally think that Bitcoin has reached a point where it is too popular. It is outdated, to be honest. It's literally from 2009. There are other coins that have been becoming more popular recently. Like Ethereum is the number 2. Ethereum came out in 2015. Imagine if you could get into Bitcoin in 2011. That's what I'm saying. Right. Obviously, Ethereum is like more popular than that now, but I think that there's money to be made from these other coins if they become useful. Or I'm totally wrong, and everyone says, you know what, this is useless, and it goes down.
See, that's like the thing I'm having a hard time understanding is like, so there are people who are like, all right, cryptocurrency is the future. So I'm going to put my money in here, and maybe they spread it through different cryptocurrencies. Yep. But then, like you said, there's money to be made. Like, how?
What do you mean there's money to be made?
Like you just said, there's money to be made, so I should buy some Ethereum. Like,
are
you doing that because you think cryptocurrency is the future?
Okay, so like, it's kind of just like...
And these people that are putting all their money into cryptocurrency because they think that's how the world should be run, like...
Okay.
They're just going to lose all their money if cryptocurrency or if Bitcoin Lite or Litecoin doesn't work, you know?
Well, like that's kind of what I'm saying is that I treat it like gambling where I cannot put in any more money that I'm not okay with losing. And maybe there's some people that are reckless, but
do you think there can conceivably be a day where you're like, all right, I'm going to put like a very good chunk of my money in cryptocurrency?
What
would have to happen?
But I mean, but the thing, the way I'm thinking about it is like in 50 years, if it becomes like mature enough where it's like stable, it's eventually will stabilize.
That's the point.
You know what I mean?
That's the point.
Just like when a company starts and they go public,
if
and
it stabilizes, then I think I'd be in the driver's seat immediately for getting in this early.
Yeah, but it's already. But it's like think of a company that's worth like. If you see a stock that's worth $1, if tomorrow it's worth $2, that's not shocking. But if the U.S. dollar becomes a dollar more valuable,
what I'm saying is, so if that did happen, you could see yourself saying like, "All right, I'm going to put a bunch of this money into cryptocurrency."
But it's like
maybe it's just so hard to say right now because of how much I know. Like it's literally like everywhere you look, like volatile. But I'd say, watch out. Like,
if it was to get to the point where it would become stable, it's because there's enough
So
people
it's just tough to say right now, but I think you're right.
But that's what I mean. But, so would you guys be like, all right, I guess I'll put money in cryptocurrency? Because you're not at that point. You're not putting it in
very hard
to make money in. You're putting it in because you're like, all right,
everyone's doing it.
This is what I'm saying. So there are some coins, like the ones that I'm saying that I'm invested in, like some smaller ones, right? Those ones go up and down all the time. But then like Ethereum, like I was talking about, Ethereum, the benefit of it is that it doesn't have these like super high gains that everyone freaks out about.
Right.
But when I bought what I owned, it was $288. and it went up a bit and it went down, and then it hovered around like 350, 3 whatever for a long time, and that's like good because people see like, okay, in 6 months it's made some gains, but it never like dipped a ton and went way back up. It's kind of like steadily increasing, and that's what people look for long-term holds is the idea. So that's what I mean by there's money to be made, as in if you don't go crazy, then you're probably, that one is Ethereum, in my opinion, is one that is going to be a potential good hold. But there's other ones that I have that I've made a good amount of money in, but any day I could lose it all. So I don't trust those ones because they're so small right now.
Right. So like
is the idea.
What's the creator's name?
Satoshi.
So Satoshi.
That's just Bitcoin.
Do you think Satoshi? All right, but so do you think he kind of like, not that he created cryptocurrency, but do you think he was like a founding father of cryptocurrency? Like,
yeah.
All right. So do you think Satoshi's probably thinking like, no, don't you understand? This isn't like a money making scheme. You guys should be thinking that this should be the currency that the world uses.
Yeah.
Do you think he's mad that people are like,
well,
go put money in Bitcoin?
Satoshi, I don't even know if he's involved. That's the other thing. I don't even know if he's involved with Bitcoin anymore.
Right, well, what
and
I'm
I know
saying
that Gavin guy isn't either. So that's like what people are saying is that a lot of people think that Bitcoin has become this like mainstream, like, money. Like,
and no one really
I'm
gets the
investing.
original
Well, let's just see what
purpose of
happens.
it,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a ton of these other developers right there now that's saying, I'm doing Satoshi's original vision. This is what Satoshi wanted, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like
Satoshi's
a
still
pissing contest, but I think he is.
That's so badass that like no one actually knows Satoshi.
Yeah. But like, so in the end, it's like, it's more of like, oh, my thing is better than yours. But that's the idea, is that some people have, like, I think personally, the smart people have realized that Bitcoin has reached its limit of where it can go.
Right.
And sure, maybe it'll go up to like 20,000 or something. But like, I really think we're kidding ourselves if we think that like a Bitcoin is going to be like, $100,000 or something. That's just insane. Like, I don't think any coins should be worth that much. That's nuts. Right. So I don't know. That's where I'm at I think that in some of the smaller coins that I have, there's modifications to Bitcoin's code, right? Or Ethereum's that I think that like the developers will say, I think this is going to work. Here's my reasonings. You can read my white paper online. You can download our wallet. You can hold your stuff.
You could take a peek at my paper wallet, but not too long. I don't want you
look at the
memorize
private
my
key.
address.
Yeah. So that's it.
Cool.
I think we're good. We're an hour in.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should rate because, well, we could, I guess, but I feel like you guys wouldn't really.
Well, my rating is going to fluctuate depending on the.
It's true. All right. So.
But we should definitely say yay or nay.
We should do yay or nay, but I feel like you guys don't have enough to like. Well, you could. You know what? I don't. Yeah. Who's to say?
No, I don't want to rate it, but I want to say yay or nay because I don't know. My
honestly,
rating
like
will be,
this is exhausting me. Like I don't even know if I can rate it now. Now I would just want to cash out.
But we got to at least give a closing statement and a yay.
Absolutely.
Or nay.
Yeah. So I'll start with Chris. Actually, I feel like I don't know.
I'll say. So coming to this, I tried to come in very open-minded.
Yeah.
And I will say.
Tell me what your concerns are, and I'll try to say like one thing, and then.
I'd say my biggest concern isn't that it's like, I think a while ago I used to think like, oh, it's sketchy, it's online, someone can just take it all.
Yeah, it's
and
not
like,
that.
Yeah,
It's certainly very secure.
It's the opposite of that, isn't it? The point
is exactly.
Essentially to be opposite.
I think, and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
it makes sense to think that because it's like, oh, it's all
you
fake.
Get hacked.
It's basically it's basically that. It's like I didn't know that. I didn't really get it. It's like I'm like, oh, why don't you just use money? Now I sort of am understanding that a little bit more. I think my biggest thing that I'm thinking is, one, I don't feel like I have any use for Bitcoin right now. Like there's nothing that I do right now that I think would become incredibly more convenient with Bitcoin, which is why I don't think like I see myself using Bitcoin as anything other than a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
But isn't the point kind of like when Bitcoin started, no one saw a point. But the thing is, like,
you're right.
You see that there will be a point. Like,
eventually.
You see the potential.
I think at this point in my life, I don't see the point. You're right, though. It could, who knows, if things stay the same. It might not even be like, what's the price? It's just maybe it's just what everyone uses. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, but I will say, literally, like, the second I saw Bitcoin stuff on Facebook, I was like, it is too late.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going to get to my point. I think that's why I'm going nay. I don't think I'm going to invest right now.
But there's other stuff.
In any cryptocurrency, you're saying?
No, I think I'm staying out of it. I think it's all very interesting. And there is a Netflix documentary I've been meaning to watch. I was going to watch before this. Didn't get around to it. Figured I'd save Andrew to lecture me on it first. I think I'll watch it, learn a little bit more. But I think at this point, I don't know. I like where my investments lie.
Yeah, that's fine.
and I don't know. Still think it's all fake.
Because the big thing. So you're saying nay?
I'm saying nay.
The big thing is like, I think if you see it as a get rich quick scheme, you're probably going to be in trouble because you probably put money into Bitcoin and like. But I think that's what I'm saying. I think if you look hard enough, that
I think that
there's more.
I think that's my disconnect. Is like, I don't see a purpose in using it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think by that matter, like even if I am investing in like a Litecoin or whatever, it's it's like an investment versus like a purpose. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm
definitely,
like,
especially right now, none of them do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's
Except
why
you can buy Sia's new album with Monero. Cheap Thrills.
Who knows? Maybe I'll buy a Monero. You said they're what, $300?
$300.
You don't think Sia is Satoshi?
I mean,
I've never seen her face.
I don't know. Maybe you switch the letters around and
G-Eazy's just in there somewhere.
Maybe I'll buy a Monero. I don't know. We'll see.
There
Probably
you go.
not.
All right,
All right.
Alex.
This is intense. I mean, as I stated earlier, I was mere minutes away from buying Ethereum. But if only I knew how to spell it at the time.
Could have made some money.
All right. So I would say that I would agree with you, Chris, that I would have no use for Bitcoin right now because I have the USD on my side, you know? But I don't think, if I'm going to invest in any cryptocurrency, it's not as an investment. Because, as we talked in the personal finance episode, I have my money other places as investments.
Yeah.
I feel like,
to be honest,
I'll put it in a tried and true method.
I didn't even mention this, but to be honest, I was hoping to make enough money in cryptocurrency to feel like, okay, now I can withdraw half and put that into stable. That was my idea, is to do a half kind of get rich quick, and then hopefully this is enough to.
That's why that's the problem. The people that all right, so in my mind, is it right to do it as an investment? Sure, you can make a lot of money, but if it does crash, then you're losing all that money, whatever.
Mm.
But so it's the genuine way in Satoshi's mind. You put your money in because you think that's the
what
way
you
money should be, and you think maybe in 100 years, or obviously not 100, but in the near future, people should be using this for currency.
Mm.
But everyone that's putting money in cryptocurrency is like what you did. They're saying I'll just make a bunch and then withdraw it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and
I don't know who to trust.
It's actually interesting because
is this going anywhere?
Well, it's I see a pattern online where it'd be people would be oh, you should get this cryptocurrency. It's oh, this one's really good, blah blah. And I'd be all right, I guess I'll buy some of this, and then I would make money from it. And then 2 months later, it's oh, have you heard of this one? You got to get this one. And that to me is very it's that's the only thing is that the facts are right now is that I've made money, and even if it crashes a ton, I only put in so few just from the Bitcoin that I won.
That's true.
So it's
I think that's another factor for me in this is that I don't have I'm not a rich man. Who knows, maybe if I had millions of dollars, I'd do it for fun.
But
not millions.
Another thing,
you're about to be Bitcoin light rich though.
That's true.
But another thing is that this is just minor. Is that I
Wait, you're now a minor?
I'm a minor. I'm going to Mohegan Sun. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys that I'm going in 2 days to Mohegan Sun. There's an open survivor call.
I did see that.
So I'm
yeah.
going again.
That's
going
awesome.
to be hey, watch my video.
But how's that related to the minor?
Yeah, how does that relate to Bitcoin?
Yeah, so I thought we were doing what's on your mind. No, I didn't have the spending money to gamble at Mohegan Sun, so I was oh, you know what? I guess I'll just withdraw some Bitcoins because it was that's useful.
Money you already,
I feel it's all right,
won,
well,
quote unquote.
I've had this, I've won, and it's gone up so much.
All right, hold
on.
But you can say the same thing about money.
That's the thing. I'm just saying that there's money to be made.
All right, let me get back to my closing statements for goodness gracious sake.
All right, go.
So what I'm saying is I feel weird putting it in saying this is my investing. I'm going to use this to invest, and then I'm going to take it out to USD. You know?
Gamble it at Mohegan Sun. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I essentially should just go and play blackjack. Or
right.
So you're gambling and winning. Your winnings are
and then
going
I'm
to be
gambling my winnings tenfold.
But part of me thinks I would feel stupid. I completely understand the potential of.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't understand it at all.
But
but I see
idea.
the potential of cryptocurrency. Obviously, it's grown a ton since 2009.
Yeah.
It's not every day you see an article saying, "This is why cryptocurrency is stupid" or whatever.
Right.
I think there might be a future in it. So I think I'm gonna have to say yay. I'm gonna invest, but first of all, I don't know if I should invest now, because if I'm gonna invest, I want it to be in like the cryptocurrency that's gonna be the next Bitcoin, essentially.
Right.
You know.
Well, obviously everyone would want that, but
when am I gonna when do you know that? You know.
Well,
obviously you
that's the
don't
point.
know that.
That's why. That's with regular stocks too. That's why you diversify, right? Just because you don't know. Which
But that's what I'm
one's gonna be
saying.
good.
So like, I don't want to put it in just to make money, because hey, not that I'm going to complain though.
Yeah.
A little more USD. I'm not going to complain about that. But if it's the way of the future, I should be putting it in. You know.
Yeah. No, definitely. The issue is that like if everyone is thinking about wanting to get rich, like, oh, if I just find the next Bitcoin, then it's certainly a bubble, and it's nothing's going to happen. Yeah. But if just a few more altcoins meet their goals, and you can see this right now, that's what I'm saying with the SIA thing, right? That people are accepting alternative forms of cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin. If that just becomes a little more popular, and I don't know what would cause that to happen, then
but at the same point, like,
they're in a good spot, I think.
Do you think that Monero, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Are they paying SIA
Good question.
to do that?
Good question.
Like, it's interesting. Like, are they advertising their currency? It's like
Perhaps.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, what if
you saw a commercial for the US dollar? Like, spend your greenbacks.
You could buy this next album with US dollar. My question was going to be, can Bitcoin still be improved? Or are they just like not doing that anymore? Like, why can't Bitcoin be? Here's the thing. Like, I feel like maybe I'm just because I'm a big skeptic. Like, the popular thing usually is never the best thing. For example, Taylor Swift's music, right? TV, that's true though.
Yeah,
TV shows like The Big Bang Theory is TV's best show. Not that good. But it's still like,
that's
don't
true.
know,
like
it's
all the
still
Marvel movies,
so
and stuff.
widely accepted. So what if I put money in these altcoins and Bitcoin just ends up staying on top forever? You know?
We should conclude.
Like,
soon,
Bitcoin is so popular that maybe people will be like, Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency.
Right.
Like,
that's the truth. That's potentially likely, and that's where I disagree. But I definitely see that in like factually, just because Bitcoin has gone up so much, even though I've made like decent return, if I had just kept it all in Bitcoin, my return would be so much more. You know, it's just that the point is that I'm thinking that I'm trying to diminish risks. Whereas like if someone was just like, oh, I'm just along for the ride, then they would have a lot more money. But
do you think that's possible, that Bitcoin? What I'm saying is I'm gonna give it a yay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some cryptocurrency.
Yay.
But Bitcoin's gonna be part of my diversified portfolio.
Yeah.
Because like
I do think it's possible. I do. Like I said June 2018. If Bitcoin is not down by halfway through 2018, then I would be nervous that perhaps it is here to stay. Because
like,
it's so,
I clearly don't know enough. But if you ask me, the layperson, when it comes to cryptocurrency, I would say like, oh, obviously Bitcoin is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that people know.
Yeah.
And like, that's the only one that we've seen accepted, not including Monero, but like actually in the world, like
real,
Chris saw at the gas station, oh, you could do Bitcoin. Like, it took this long for the public to find out about Bitcoin. It's going to take twice as long for like someone to say like, oh, but this one's actually better, you know?
Or Bitcoin just put a spotlight on the whole scene.
Right.
And
yeah, I know.
Maybe it's new underdog.
Like, obviously, it probably is. If cryptocurrency is really the way of the future, it's so early right now. Like,
and this podcast will be famous.
You know?
But, or not. Or it'll just be a bubble. Honestly, like, I'm kind of torn. It's just because when it's just like, we might have talked about this in fantasy football, Chris, but with your fantasy football team, you love the players on your team because they're your guys. You drafted them. So like, when someone offers you a trade and it's like, it might be a fair trade, you're just like, come on, like, no, these are my guys.
Yeah,
that's how it, like, maybe objectively, like, the future of cryptocurrency is kind of rocky, but like right now I got my guys. They're doing well for me. I'm in the green. You know, I can't just bash them like that.
You know what?
That's what I'm feeling.
I have to find the people that are the lumberjacks, but the opposite. Like, you will clearly still use US dollars and you're not afraid of it.
Yeah.
You know? I need to find the people that are like,
I
am using cryptocurrency at all costs. Like, no matter what, I don't give a F about the USD anymore. I don't want to I don't want the government tampering with
That's
me.
funny.
Like those are the people that I want to teach. I want to teach me about
Yeah,
cryptocurrency.
that's true.
Good call.
And then I'll know if it's like legit or not. Because the people that are hiding in the woods not using cryptocurrency, maybe they know more.
I love that we just had like back-to-back intense episodes after like
Yeah.
next
Yeah,
up
seriously.
juggling.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we need to come back with something low key. Yeah, we'll see
Yeah,
what
don't
we
worry.
can
I'll
do.
do juggling
we will.
again.
all right. I guess that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So
See, now I
thanks
have to
for
do
your
my
ratings,
own.
guys.
Now I have to do my own.
Do your research. That's
on
a classic
cryptocurrency.
thing. Yeah.
Can't just trust one person.
Yeah. So I guess my conclusion
Oh, I
thing, my
definitely don't
concluding
trust
thing is
Andrew.
that
no,
yeah,
no
oh
way.
yeah, definitely
Yeah,
don't
if
trust
you're
me.
listening, don't trust any of
It's
this.
a classic thing. It's like
Yeah, that's true.
same thing. Like if you're reading like, oh, you gotta bet on this team. This might be just me, but you gotta bet on this team online. Take that with a freaking grain
See,
of
that's
salt.
what
Yeah,
I'm
right.
saying. I feel like I'm a known skeptic when it comes.
Because you
to
gotta
stuff
think
like
I
this.
could have
I
could have hosted this podcast. I don't know a single
Yeah.
thing about it. I could have talked about the blockchain all day.
It's like
I just hate
it's
when
fine,
people.
yeah,
roll
just do your own research, or take my recommendations.
Here's an example of being a skeptic. This relates to Bitcoin. Look, don't just listen to Andrew. Do some research.
Yes.
Someone the other day was like, "Hey, did you hear The Office is going to have another season?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, The Office is coming back. It's going to be like their life after." I did one Google search, and the first thing that came up was, "This is why this Office rumor is not true." Like, why would you just believe one thing you read? It's
Yeah.
so clearly not true.
You'd be surprised, dude. That's a classic thing. Like,
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
So
internet,
you listen
oh.
to Andrew say this,
yeah,
listen to it for goodness sakes, but do your own research.
yeah. Hopefully
Like,
you're still around, because that's a big thing in life, right? Form your own opinions. Okay,
Right.
here's what I think. Here's what you think.
you know what? Don't enjoy the Big Bang Theory. How about?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Or you can.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of, no, never mind. I thought the Big Bang Theory could relate to like the plug somehow. Let's end this with a big bang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
was
works.
good.
All right, thanks, Chris. Hit us with the plugs.
Here's the plug. So, if you liked what you're listening to, or even if you didn't like and want
Yeah.
to try a different episode, because this one's definitely not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
You can find them on IneedAHobbyPod.com. You can find our iTunes there. You can find us on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I Need a Hobby Pod.
We'll go back to
Some more lighthearted.
We'll go back to lighthearted hobbies. We just had to get this one out there because it's it's popular right now,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
you could potentially be thanking me
Yeah.
for a lot of money.
It's a
That's
real
true.
zeitgeist.
That's
episode.
right. Thank me if it's good, and otherwise you heard it from Chris. That's
Mm.
right. Chris was the big yay of the episode.
We should make a I Need a Hobby Pod address.
a Bitcoin
Yeah,
address.
Yeah. Sips.
Why not? See if we can get some some alt coins.
We could do
Sure.
that though, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
could
that's
just
a
give them my address.
That's
I
true.
have my
Oh,
own
oh,
wallet.
thing. Not
Oh,
Andrew's address.
Yeah, no, we could talk about that.
I was also thinking about making a I Need a Hobby Pod Venmo, but we'll talk about that off pod.
Yeah, here we
It'd
go.
be fun, you know?
all right.
Is
A
that
little
it?
more practical, maybe.
And then you can shop for. Can you use Bitcoin on Amazon yet?
I don't think so.
IneedAHobbyPod.com/Amazon.
That's when I'll pour my freaking.
Yeah,
life
for all your
savings into
U.S.
it.
dollar spending needs,
Could you,
I
buy,
guess.
could you buy Amazon stock?
Yeah.
I think I might do that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's
That's
gotta
what
be
I was
smart, right?
equating to, like, real quick to get back into it. Like, Ethereum to me is like the Amazon. Like, that's a stable stock. That's some good stuff going up.
I mean, it's insane to think
and
that
the rest
like,
is who knows.
like Amazon. Like when we first heard about Amazon, it was basically an online bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
You know,
it's China.
it's
Absolutely.
the Bitcoin of online marketing.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I feel like people always say, like, oh, we're looking for the next, what's the next this? What's the next this? Like, in my personal opinion, I think opportunities are out there. And I'm not just talking about cryptocurrency. I bet in 10 years, there'll be, like, some other thing like, I just wish I had, you know, if only I had invested in Amazon in the 90s. If only I had, there's something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
There's something.
it's like we talked about in the personal finance episode. It's like if you want the big for the big reward, you have to take the big risk.
Yes.
Like because there are plenty of people who poured their money into stocks that the company is non-existent right now. and
Plenty
they
of
lost all
altcoins
their
that
money.
died in like 2014.
You know?
Yeah.
So then it's hard to like just say, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, because if you really tried to do that, you most likely would have no money now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Please invest in us. See you next week.